Hi, I'm Andrew Cardamone. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to adjust user factors for alloy analysis using your Vanta XRF analyzer. User factors allow us to adjust the factory default calibration to account for any matrix or material effects. This can be done using certified reference materials, your own internal standards, or samples that have been assayed in a lab. Sometimes for alloys, the factory default calibration has to be adjusted for a particular element. We recommend using at least 3 standards to do this. However, the more standards you use, the more robust the calibration will be. The first step in this process is to analyze your samples. The sample test time can be the same as your standard test, or, to minimize variation, 2 to 3 times longer than your standard sample time. For this sample, the nickel content is assayed at 65%. We can see here that we're obtaining a value of 76.7%. I will now export these results and graph them in an XY plot. As you can see, I've done that here in Excel, with the Vanta XRF results on the x-axis and the lab assay values on the y-axis. I have also enabled the display equation feature on the graph. This allows us to obtain the slope and the y-intercept of the graph. I will then use these values to create a user factor model on the Vanta. To do that, I will open the user factor icon, hit the plus button to create a new model, and give it a name, in this case, Ni for nickel. I will then import the factors we determined on the graph. So the factor will be the slope, which is 0.650, and the offset will be the y-intercept, which was 0.459. I will then retest the sample. Recall that the assay value for this sample was 65% nickel, and that initially we were measuring it at 76.7% nickel. You can now see that we've measured the concentration of nickel at 66.3%, which is a much closer assay match. Although it is uncommon, matrix effects can have different impacts at low and high elemental concentrations. Because of this, 2 different user factor models can be established. You can then swap between these user factor models during your testing to allow for accurate concentrations over a wide range. I hope that showing you how to integrate user factors into your alloy testing has been useful. Thank you for watching today.